China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one?
Hello and welcome back, and thanks for choosing to hang out with your host, the Conservative Bird, and me, Double D, and you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, Double D, I think we just learned a new hack. Well, I think we learned it a long time ago, but I think for the next 3 years, liberals might become lab rats at this point. What do you think?
I think they already been lab rats for the last 3 decades.
I mean, literally, like, it seems like all we have to do is tell them, like, hey, Donald Trump said that's not good for you. And even if it's not good for you, they'll still do it just to outshine Donald Trump and show him how wrong he is.
Well, like I always said, the libs always have a funny way of spiting, how they cut off their own nose to spite their own face.
Right.
And this is another one of those episodes, or this is another one of those things, too. If he was just to say, if Donald Trump was to say air is bad for you, you know, they would try to hold their breath as long as they could. Yeah,
it's like funny. It's like a post my friend put up. He said, Donald Trump could tell you that staying in a parked garage, enclosed garage, with the car running is good for you, is bad for you. And they'll do it just to show him, like, no, it's actually good for you. But in all actuality, you know, we know what fumes will do to you over time.
This whole thing with them, it's crazy because a lot of the stances that he has actually are old Democrat values from like the 90s and the 80s, you know, like the tariffs and you know, making it everybody pay their equal share.
Yeah.
These are all ideas that, you know, they at one time used to have, you know, and now all of a sudden, since, you know, NAFTA sold out all our jobs and sent everything to overseas, and it's just basically us buying all of their junk from China, and they have no problem paying the tariffs to them.
Yeah.
But the moment we talk about bringing tariffs back to here, they go crazy. Well, it's the same with everything else, dude.
Right.
Like this thing with the Tylenol thing, dude. It's really the same thing.
Okay, speaking of which, let's here. That's what I wanted to get into, actually. Let's not tell them exactly what happened if they haven't seen it yet, right? So, if you guys didn't know that Donald Trump and RFK Jr. recently had a little press conference about autism and links to it, and Trump made a comment that obviously the liberals are going to take completely out of context and try to upstage him and show him that he's wrong about this, right? But I want to show you guys the comment that he actually said.
Yes.
Autism is among the most alarming public health developments in history. There's never been anything like this. Just a few decades ago, 1 in 10,000 children had autism. So that's not a long time. And I've always heard, you know, they say a few, but I think it's a lot less time than that. It used to be 1 in 20,000, then 1 in 10,000, and I would say that's probably 18 years ago. And now it's 1 in 31, but in some areas it's much worse than that, if you can believe it. 1 in 31.
That's wild.
And I gave numbers yesterday. For boys, it's 1 in 12.
Yeah. You know, and I always tell people that I feel like it's more common amongst boys because to me, a lot of people, they try, like, I'm not going to say whether ADHD is like exactly real or not real. That's not what I'm meaning when I say this. But they're going to diagnose a lot of boys that are like hyper, you know, don't like to listen, don't really care about school or something like that. They're going to diagnose them as ADHD when in all actuality, they're just boys being boys for the most part.
or they're bored shitless, or they just don't
exactly.
care
You know, it's crazy. Like that's why it's like a 1 in 31 now, because they'll label the littlest thing as ADHD or autism. It's ridiculous, dude. Like if you're gonna treat the actual problem, then treat only the actual problem. You know what I mean? Don't try and cause other things and say that those are problems as well.
And I would like to clarify also that the president's not saying that there's a direct link between autism and Tylenol while a woman is pregnant. He's just saying there is evidence of a link.
Exactly.
And that was actually a professor. I forgot from what university.
I'm not too sure.
I should have looked that up before we started the show. That's on me. That's my bad.
Okay.
But there is an actual study that he's quoting, by the way, that says there's a possible link between autism and taking too much Tylenol while you're pregnant. Then, I mean, it says right on the bottle not to take it when you're pregnant, to be honest. It's right there. Or at least consult your physician. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I had to find out. I went and looked at the Tylenol bottle a couple hours ago. So,
yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
It's crazy,
I don't know
though.
if they all have it on it, but mine did.
We know that they're going to just take this whole thing out of complete context and just make it to seem like whatever they want him to be saying is what he's saying. When in all actuality, you know, what he's trying to get at is it could be possibly linked to it. You know, there's a reason why, we'll show you in a minute, Tylenol told us already things similar to this nature.
That's in California, where they have for some reason, a more severe problem. But whether it's 1 in 12 or 1 in 31, can you imagine? That's down from 1 in 20,000 and 1 in 10,000. And now we're at the level of 1 in 12 in some cases for boys. 1 in 31 overall. So since 2000, autism rates have surged by much more than 400%. Instead of attacking those who ask questions, everyone should be grateful for those who are trying to get the answers to this complex situation. And the first day all of these great doctors behind me were there, I told them, this is what we have to find out. Because when you go from 20,000 to 10,000, and then you go to 12, you know there's something artificial. They're taking something. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. That have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies with the Amish, for example.
The Amish, yeah, virtually, I don't know, I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and
I mean, rightfully so, yeah. It's not exactly none, but it's more like, I looked it up, it's 1 in every 270 kids in Amish country are are being diagnosed with autism.
Gotcha. I guess I should have looked up that professor too, who first came out with
that's
that study.
That's to say, a 1 in 31 compared to a 1 in 270 is a huge difference.
Oh, dude, that's 9 times the amount.
I feel like the 1 in 270 is closer to probably what people with true autism have. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. True, real. I mean, there's different degrees of autism too. Like, my dad's grandson, all three of them have autism, but the one that you guys know, Sean, he has pretty much normal autism, but the other two are so severe they can't even communicate. They can't talk or anything like that.
Right, so, which I feel like that's that's more so towards what autism is.
Yeah, theirs is really severe. Sean still considered autistic. It's just not as severe.
Right, which, that could be one of the ones towing the line.
I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups. The Amish, as an example, they have essentially no autism. First, effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen. Right? Isn't
Acetaminophen.
how you say it? Acetaminophen?
It's acetaminophen.
Yeah. So it's so funny. Like, see, even I messed it up, and I thought that's how you said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. And they act like he messed up the word "the" or "easy"
Right.
or "big." Like he messed up. Say it again, double D, because I don't know how to say it now. Acetaminophen.
It's acetaminophen. Yeah, but listen,
Acetaminophen. Okay.
Yes, I looked it up to see who the doctor was.
Okay.
According to Google AI, there wasn't a actual doctor.
Well, they're going to tell you that. You probably have to figure it out.
So, but what's his name? Robert L. McNeil Jr. was the chemist and pharmaceutical executive, and even who is. Okay, so it's never mind. It's saying that he was not the medical doctor and was not involved in the autism controversy that arose decades after Tylenol. So the autism and vaccine link, that goes back to Dr. Andrew Wakefield. So that's probably where I was making my mistake.
Okay.
They're all on the same page, though.
Yep.
But so I don't know, man. I guess from what I just read there, it looks like that, right now I don't know. I mean, obviously there's studies that's going on. I hope RFK can come with a little more than
for sure. Definitely.
Which is basically commonly known as TYLENOL during pregnancy, can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking TYLENOL is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good.
While
For
pregnant,
this reason,
he's forgetting
they
to say that
are
part.
strongly recommended.
Well, he already said during pregnancy.
Okay, but then he said taking Tylenol is not good. But, I mean,
For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically
So he already said it.
Consult a physician. That's what it says
for
on the
instance,
bottle.
in cases of extremely high fever, that you feel you can't tough it out, you can't do it. I guess there's that. It's a small number of cases, I think.
Yeah.
But if you can't tough it out, if you can't do it, that's what you're going to have to do. You'll take a Tylenol, but it'll be very sparingly. It can be something that's very dangerous to the woman's health. In other words, a fever that's very, very dangerous, and ideally a doctor's decision, because I think you shouldn't take it, and you shouldn't take it during the entire pregnancy. They may tell you that toward the end of the pregnancy you shouldn't take it during the entire, and you shouldn't give the child the Tylenol every time he's born and he goes and has a shot.
Yeah.
You shouldn't give a Tylenol to that child. All pregnant women should talk to their doctors for more information about limiting the use of this medication while pregnant. So ideally you don't take it at all, but if you can't tough it out, or if there's a problem, you're going to end up doing it.
I don't understand the problem of anything he just said, especially when you have Tylenol tweeting this out 8 years ago, right? We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today, right? And they tweeted this out 8 years ago. Trump said nothing wrong. Obviously, the liberals ran with this, and they think that, he's attacking Tylenol. He's telling people Tylenol's bad. The dude literally said, when you're pregnant, don't take Tylenol because it's not good for you, and don't give it to kids all the time after they get their shots because it's not good for them. What is wrong with saying that?
Well, it's very damaging to the liver, too. That's the thing that people keep forgetting. Tylenol is... That's why I hate to bring up, like pharmaceuticals in this situation, but Vicodin, Percocet, all of that
it'll damage your liver.
Yeah, well, it all has acetaminophen. That's why.
Yeah.
So that's why they also have the alternatives without the acetaminophen, like the Oxycontin, the 5s, 10s, 15s, what have you. They have those alternatives because they don't have the acetaminophen. Now, I'm not recommending people go out and do Oxycontin. That's not what this is about. This is
No.
100% pure science.
Yeah, but there's no acetaminophen in it.
Right. There's no acetaminophen in it, and it doesn't damage the liver.
Yeah.
Now, whatever opiate damage you have to your kidneys and, and your bladder and stuff like that's a whole different story. But for just the purpose of the liver thing, acetaminophen is really, really, really hard on the liver. It's very damaging to it. And it says it again right on the bottle. So.
Exactly. So, Double D, I talked earlier about us finding liberal lab rats, and all we have to do is Trump bad, we good, right? So I found our first one, and it's wild because I didn't think this was going to happen, but it did. Yep, you're pregnant. Yep, good Tylenol. Nice Tylenol.
He's only eating one.
I don't think that's a Tylenol. I don't think Tylenol's blue like that, are they?
No, that's a capsule.
They
are. Yeah.
Is this fair to say mental retardation?
Yeah, I mean, if she's gonna
take a Tylenol that's not good for her to take while she's pregnant to spite the president because of what he said.
Right.
Isn't that a cult? Isn't that mental retardation? Isn't that TDS?
I would say definitely TDS, for sure on that. But listen, one of them's not going to hurt her or the baby. A regular usage, again, Tylenol recommends that you don't do that. So I say whatever. If the factory recommends that you don't take their product when you're pregnant, don't you think it's just feasible to not take their product when you're... It's really not rocket science. It really isn't
Double
rocket
D,
science.
let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Is 2 + 2 4?
From last I checked, I mean, as far as I know, I mean,
two
equals 4.
Go tell a liberal you're a conservative, and you think 2 + 2 = 4, and they'll argue with you that it's 5 or 3.
They probably will. They'll be wrong.
Yeah, but in their mind they'll be right, and then they'll gather a cult around them to also tell them that they're right.
I mean, obviously, you pulled up that from Tylenol from 2017. And
yeah, like I said, 8 years ago.
And I already fact checked it when you brought it up the first time just to make sure it was real.
Oh, it was real. Where I got it from, they said you could go look it up, and you can if you want.
I know, yeah. That's basically what the AI Google said that. So
yeah, if you guys want to take your time on X to go look up Tylenol and go look up a tweet from 2017, hey, go right ahead. I'll guarantee you'll find it.
Yeah,
they're not going to delete a tweet like that because that's very informative and necessary to have.
Absolutely, especially now. That's probably why it's popping up again. They're probably like, make sure that thing gets out there again because these idiots are going to start eating a bunch of bottles of Tylenol.
It's crazy though. You know how we have the Nancy. You know how we have the Nancy Pelosi tracker, like to track her stock trades. Do we need to do this for Trump, like how we should for Sydney Sweeney? Whoever she signs with, you might as well just go buy stock in that really quick before it goes up. Anything that Trump slanders or talks good about, you should either buy stock in or dump your stock. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy because I heard Tylenol stock went down after this.
Oh, I'm sure it did, dude. I'm sure it did.
Let's go look it up really quick and see if we can find it.
I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that hurt them financially, and that's probably why they're so pissed at him. You know what I mean? Yeah, right there.
Yep.
You can see it. Yeah, Kenview. Dude, he's...
So...
Yeah, he basically stuck it to a pharmaceutical company. Man, I don't know. Those I don't trust pharmaceutical CEOs and companies like that.
Well, wait, this was in 2022. This isn't recent. Let me find a more recent one. I want to find one from...
Wait a minute, that was from 2022?
Yeah, there should be
2022. Joe Biden was the president in 2022, though.
Yeah, no shit.
And wait a minute, if you go back to that, it still said the link to go back to that. Go back to it real quick. Right there. Where was it at? Where did it say? Right down here on the bottom.
Where?
Oh, Tylenol maker Kenview plunges. Oh, on reports. So this one is new.
Oh, yeah.
Right
No, this is new, yeah.
Yeah, that is new.
Okay, so why
Yeah,
is this stock price? Why does it say 2022 right there?
Because that's showing you when they probably started first going down.
Oh, okay, I see it. It's 2025.
So their stock
yeah.
price has actually been plummeting.
But
for a
it's
while.
lower than ever. It's at $17, which, in all honesty, that might be the time to buy into Tylenol stock.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think Tylenol's going anywhere.
No, hell no, dude. And it's still a necessary medication. Just don't take it when you're pregnant. Or at least don't take it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the big deal? It's like, I mean, it's better for your baby anyway. I mean, if you're pregnant and you're having a baby, why do you want to risk your liver and the baby's liver at the very least with acetaminophen?
Yeah.
I mean, the best thing that if you need something for pain that bad, I mean, you're really not going to need it until you're in delivery. And they'll give you an epidural anyway.
It looked like its highest since 2009 is like $19.27 or $19.40 a share.
And when was that?
That was in like, looks like 2011. Or no, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. 9/12. So that was 10 years ago. Within 10 years, the stock has dropped more than $2. That's a pretty dramatic drop for 10 years.
If you look at the actual line there too, you see the dip comes down half, it goes across, it stays steady for the last few years, and then a dip goes down again in 2022.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's supposed to take us into 2025 because it's so close with the lines. I'm assuming the very point is 2025.
Yeah, you could see it right here. I'm pretty. It might be a 2. I don't know.
That doesn't matter. We get the idea. The bottom line is obviously the bad press didn't help them, but I mean, again, Tylenol was warning everybody that too. So for people to take it out on Tylenol stock, that they already put that disclaimer out there. It's right on the bottle. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's on the freaking bottle. But everything is so political now. They've politicized Tylenol. Can you believe that? No, seriously, dude. We have politicized Tylenol.
It's so funny.
It's like
Tylenol for governor.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what the frick, man? It makes me just want to say. No, really, it just makes me want to say, what the.
Yeah. So we've also this week have had Trump grill the UN.
Yeah, this is great. I love this.
It's beautiful to see. First thing he talks about is, I believe, climate change. And isn't it funny they went from global warming to global cooling to now just climate change? Isn't climate change just a change of the weathers? Literally, we have climate change going on in this state every single day, it feels like.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the deal. The only thing that's consistent on this planet or in this universe is change.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's consistent. Nothing ever stays the same. So, they could call it climate change. I call it summer, fall, winter, and spring.
Right.
But hey, who am I, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. So,
exactly.
But hey, before you start this clip, though, I just want to say something because I'm not sure where I stand on the whole Tylenol thing on that issue.
Yeah,
I thought it was
funny.
Yeah, I think we should follow the directions on the bottle, right?
Yeah.
But this here that you're about to play, I am 100%, 1,000% all in with Donald Trump on this one, and when you guys hear it, you're going to understand why. I had to put that out there. Obviously, I've already seen it, so I already know. I'm all in with him on this one.
Years ago in the 1920s and the 1930s, they said, global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something. Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler, so now they could just call it climate change because that way they can't.
That's right.
Climate
Whether it's cold
change.
or hot.
Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change.
It's changing.
It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my
You're
opinion.
so right.
He is not lying, and because of this idiocracy, we got people like Greta Thunberg that we have to deal with, seeing in the media all the time.
How dare you?
Dude, this is hilarious. He just tells the UN this is a con job.
Yeah, your country's going to hell.
Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost their countries fortunes and given those same countries no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. He ended 7 wars.
That he did. Dude, Trump is, I'm telling you guys, Trump is so funny even when he doesn't try to be. When he's trying to be serious, he doesn't realize how hilarious he is.
That's why I love this video more than anything, because you could tell in the TYLENOL video he still isn't 100% sure himself. But this one, he is spot on. He knows he's right on the money, and he knows that most of the normal people on this planet think that they're full of poop too over there at the UN. And you all know they're full of shit, dude. This is all this has been is a globalist hoax to make us, to fear us into whatever they want us to do. And you know what I say to the UN? You want to know what I say to the UN? You.
Yeah. So here's something funny, and I always wonder this too. What is the purpose of the United Nations? Like, we don't need a United Nations to not be at war with each other. Just don't go to war with each other. We don't need to have a United Nations. We don't need to. Everybody just leave everybody alone, and life would be great. I promise you.
Well, we probably believed in our minds that we needed the United Nations because we thought of our Western allies as allies.
Yeah.
But I think the Western allies feel that they need the UN to bully the United States.
Yeah.
That's the way I think they see it.
Yeah, no,
the only problem
you're probably right.
The only problem is they're bullying the bully. And, well, we're Americans. We love the fight. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We love that shit. I mean, we do. We love it.
That's true.
Europeans are a bunch. I mean, dude, the Europeans are more worried about cutting off their wieners and growing breasts. I'm not. Let the fucking Russians have them, dude. Seriously. You know what? And let the Islam have England and France and Germany also. I don't care. They're the ones that overran their country with that crap. They deserve it. They're going to want us to bail them out. Sorry. Guys been bullying us too long over there. We're not going to help you this time. We're not on the same page anymore. We're just not. And you know what? We don't need the UN, Bird. You're right.
And in all cases, they were raging with countless thousands of people being killed. It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them.
Nope.
I didn't think of it at the time because I was too busy working to save millions of lives.
Yep.
That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there.
No,
I thought of it really after the fact, not during these negotiations, which were not easy. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential.
Hello.
I've always said it. It has such tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war.
He's right, man.
Wow. I mean,
absolutely.
I couldn't have worded that. Yeah, I couldn't have worded that any better.
That one, you know, he was spot on this one, dude. I mean, I can't agree with him anymore. I mean, unless I can agree 180,000%, that's the only way I could agree more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
like I said, I'm all in with him on this one.
The crazy thing is, like, here's like they're at the UN, right? And Trump is just the president of the United States. He goes in here by himself. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's with him in this sense, you know, and he doesn't care, and he goes in there and holds his own like a man.
And
grills them and lets them know that they're wrong.
Yeah. And nobody's trying to bully him. Have you noticed that?
No, and he doesn't go in there with bully intentions either. He goes in there with the intentions of wanting to make things right.
Yeah, I mean, he is walking
You could
tall
tell.
with a big stick.
You could
he
tell.
is walking tall with a big stick, though. He is.
Yeah, you could tell, though.
As he should be.
You could tell he's not, you could tell by the way he's carrying himself with these people that he's not going in here with any ill intentions. He's going in here to make a statement and let them know that what they are doing is everything is wrong.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. I mean, dude, he's calling it what it is. I've been saying it since I first heard the term global cooling in I think I might have been in first grade, so that would have been 1974.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the first time I actually heard the term global cooling.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was the 70s, and we had very short winters and very short summers and very bad long winters. Mm-hmm. So it felt true, but it was also just a period of time we were going through. Then the 80s came, and it started warming up in like 1982, 83. We started going back to normal temperatures out of that little mini ice age we're in. And then all of a sudden it was global warming. Oh, we're all going to die. The seas are going to rise and the ice is going to melt. We're all going to drown. Right. And the whole time I'm thinking, well, can you take California with you?
As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza. Have to get that done. Have to get it done. Unfortunately, Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we? Nope. Now, as if to encourage continued conflict,
why does he look so angry?
Seeking to
pause for a minute, Bird. Pause. Look at his face, dude. Why does he look angry?
Because Trump probably said something to him beforehand, and he's probably pissed at Trump right now.
But President Trump's actually defending him right now.
No, but he probably had a conversation with them beforehand, and he probably told him, like, hey, you know, probably said, like, hey, something, blah, 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 and he probably didn't like what Trump had to say. I'll guarantee that's
Fair
what
enough.
it is.
All right, well, I'm just speculating. I'm just speculating.
That's what it seems like, unless he's just a pissed off, one of them people that just look pissed off in general. I don't even know who this dude is.
That dude looks like contempt to me, dude.
Yeah,
looks like 100% pure contempt and hatred right there.
You could be right.
That look. I mean, let it play and see if his facial changes, but it was like that for like 4 seconds. So I
literally recognize a
Palestinian state. He's angry, bro.
The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities. China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil.
So I think he was just a pissed off looking person.
He is definitely angry looking, dude.
Because he was shaking his head, yes, like, yeah, pissed off.
Okay. So maybe he's just angry in general then. That's what I was wondering, because I couldn't think of anything that Trump was saying that would... I could see where it was pissing everybody else off in the UN, but I don't know how that made the guy from Israel angry.
Yeah.
China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it.
Well,
they're funding the war against themselves.
They're funding the war against themselves.
Look at their faces.
Right, that's what I'm saying, dude.
He's pissed. He's confused. He's like, what? What did you say?
Yeah, And you can see the interpreter and behind him. He's
Holy
just like,
shit! Holy shit, dude!
you know,
This
he's
is
the
great.
interpreter because he's the only one that doesn't have headphones on.
They're pissed, dude. They are pissed.
They're funding
Hey, China, you.
the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one? Brazil now
enough,
faces.
Holy shit! Oh my god, bro!
He's calling out BRICS,
He
dude.
just told China to their face, "You're funding the war. You're an idiot."
Basically, he's basically calling out BRICS right now.
We got to hear that again. We got to hear that again. That was great.
Here are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves.
He's right. They are.
Double D.
Western Europe
Double
is
D.
funding the
Double
war.
D. I have a fucking question for you.
Sure.
You're not saying the word. I'm saying the word. I don't care, right? I'm asking you a fucking question.
Sure.
I thought Trump was Putin's bitch. He's telling people to. He's telling people to cut off. Hold on. He's telling people to cut off energy to stop funding Russia, so they'll stop the war. But he's Putin's bitch, right? He's Putin's bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Well,
it makes a lot of fucking sense.
According to the liberals, because they love China, dude. They love the communists.
That shit ended. I thought he was Elon's bitch. Oh, that shit ended. Yeah. Oh, it just all ends. Where's Project 2025? It's all ending. These people just go round and round in circles and circles and circles, and they find anything to grasp onto, anything and anything and anything, and nothing ever sticks. I thought he was Putin's bitch, though. I thought he was Putin's bitch.
You know who's bitch, actually, when it comes down to the reality of it? The Democrat Party is their socialist, communist, far left-wing nutcases bitch.
Hey, New York City's about to get what they deserve at this point.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna be waiting in lines for hours just to buy milk and eggs and cheese and bread.
Sad.
Hey, you already gotta wait 15, 20 minutes as it is when you're in New York City because the lines are so long.
We just got to make sure nobody votes this douchebag in around here.
Oh yeah, Tanmay Shah, dude.
Yeah.
He's just trying. First of all, he's not even from here. I don't even understand why a guy from South Carolina.
Because they're trying to implement socialism at every level of the inner cities. I'm telling you, that is what they're doing.
I do think it's kind of hilarious, though. He put up all those signs all the way down our street, and I know he did that deliberately against us. And somebody came and took all those signs, and they left the two that were in front of the store down there but that's their property. But I mean, those signs are like every other sign, man. They just disappear, and nobody likes those signs on this street. So yeah, people are going to remove them. I mean,
for sure.
I don't even see any signs for anybody on.
Yeah, I don't even see Dan Kelly signs really.
My mother-in-law has, or my stepmother has the Dan Kelly one. But other than that, I haven't really seen any political signs in general, except for when Trump was running in 2024. That's the only time we ever saw political signs on this street. For the most part, it's just not something we have over here. So I don't know how we thought they were going to last by putting them up on every intersection. Of course somebody's going to take them down because they look hideous. You know what I mean? They don't make your neighborhood look nice. I mean, they just don't. So if you have political signs, keep them away from the brick road. We have a brick road. That should tell you right there. We don't want your signs.
No.
Just saying.
Who the hell ever heard of that one? Brazil now faces major tariffs in response to its unprecedented efforts to interfere in the rights and freedoms of our American citizens and others, with censorship, repression, weaponization, judicial corruption, and targeting of political critics in the United States. I have a little problem saying this because I must tell you, I was walking in and the leader of Brazil was walking out. We saw him and I saw him, he saw me, and we embraced.
And then I'm saying, can you believe I'm going to be saying this in just 2 minutes?
But
we did talk. We had a good talk, and we agreed to meet next week.
Let's watch that again. Let's watch that again.
That was hilarious, dude.
I want to watch that from the beginning.
It's to its unprecedented efforts to interfere in the rights and freedoms of our American citizens and others with censorship, repression, weaponization, judicial corruption, and targeting of political critics in the United States. I have a little problem saying this because I must tell you, I was walking in and the leader of Brazil was walking out. We saw him and I saw him, he saw me, and we embraced. And then I'm saying, can you believe I'm going to be saying this in just 2 minutes? But we did talk, we had a good talk, and we agreed to meet next week, if that's of interest. But he seemed like a very nice man, actually.
Okay.
There you go. Well, so you saw them wake him up real quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
They're like, dude was either like he was just like in his own little world. They're like, hey, the president's talking about you, bro. You know
so
what I mean?
we have some crazy stuff now, right?
Yeah. This is.
So this was out in what I believe Dallas was it Dallas, Texas?
Yeah, it was in Dallas.
An anti-ICE. They're saying he's
lunatic.
Saying he's linked to Antifa, possibly. I'm not 1,000% sure on that. Don't quote me on it. Saying two, but here's the crazy thing, right? This dude's anti-ICE. They find bullets with anti-ICE sentiments on them, right? But yet he doesn't even kill any officers. He kills 2 detainees and 1 person. He kills 2 and wounds 1. Like, that doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, you literally killed the people that you're fighting for.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what he did, dude. He shot into a van that has no windows.
Oh, so
yeah, basically he shot into the rear end of the van.
Yeah,
it just doesn't have any window. I mean, it only has the 2 windows in the rear. There's no side windows, so it's a very strong possibility he didn't know that there were detainees in there. So when he was shooting his 7.62 rounds through the windows of that, he hit them instead and injured. Now, there's been discrepancies in who was dead and who's not. You know, we've heard 1 dead, 2 wounded, 2 dead, 1 wounded.
Yeah.
So there's still discrepancies in that. I'm sure by tomorrow.
Yeah, I keep seeing a bunch of things. They're saying 2 ICE detainees. I've seen a couple of them saying 2 ICE detainees killed. You said you keep seeing a couple things that say 1 killed, 2 wounded.
Yeah,
so we'll say one or 2 killed and 1 or 2 wounded.
The bottom line is 3 people have been affected by a 7.62 bullet.
It's not even, well, that's sad. But like the crazy thing is, like I said, this dude is an anti-ICE far leftist, yet he killed 3 people that he was fighting for.
You know what I'd be curious to know, Bert? I'd be curious to know what gun he shot himself with.
Yeah.
I mean, did he just turn that rifle and shoot himself in the head with it?
Oh,
I mean,
man, he blew his freaking head apart then.
I mean, dude, look at those. I mean, keep in mind, those bullets you see there?
Yeah, look at those.
Those are very similar to the same one that hit Charlie Kirk. Now, his was a 30-06, which there isn't that big of a difference between the 7.62 and the 30-06. They're pretty close in size. So keep in mind the size of that bullet as in compared to the AR-15 bullet that grazed the president's ear. I mean, these are the real deal. Right. I mean, this person was definitely trying to kill.
Yeah.
I think I don't think he hit his intended target, though.
Yeah.
I think his intended target was the staff, but again, he shot through the back of a van, so it's going to land who's ever in front of it first. You know what I mean?
Yep.
News correspondent Jay Gray is live there in Dallas for us. Jay, you've been following this from the start this morning, and moments ago we just learned the identity of the shooter. What do we know at this point?
Yeah, Vicky, it is a 29-year-old Joshua John, we are told. Still trying to find out more information, but that confirmed through multiple law enforcement sources to NBC News. Again, 29-year-old Joshua John. We don't know anything about a criminal background. That's something we're going to have to develop as this continues to unfold. We can tell you that the Department of Homeland Security has said that the shots were fired indiscriminately at the building by John from a nearby rooftop. he was firing at the ICE building and sprayed that facility. One of the witnesses says there was as many as 20 shots fired, and during that time he hit a van as well as the detainees that were being moved from that van. We know that 3 of the detainees were hit. 2 of them have died. The 3rd in critical condition right now at a Dallas hospital. No law enforcement
all 3 were
hit
detainees
during the attack. And then the gunman, of course, turned a weapon on himself.
Wow.
Okay.
So he
Right,
turned
he
a
did-
7.62 on himself. Oh my gosh.
Well, actually, from a short range, dude, that bullet probably went in and out. Probably took a little bit of the skull out off
He
the top.
he 180
But,
no
you know,
scoped himself. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, do you see how? Well, those are they used to call those kind of bullets cop killers because they got those solid points on them and they can go through armor.
Yeah.
But the armor that they use today, I mean, professionals use armor that can kind of stop those from a long distance.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
From a short distance, I don't think it would stop it. I think it would go through the armor.
Yeah,
from
for
a
sure.
Short distance.
So
But from a normal shooting, from a normal sniper distance, armor would have stopped that.
so
for
you,
sure.
you know my feelings on Ted Cruz, but even a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
well, I like Ted. But
like-
he's from my generation. So.
Yeah, whatever.
I understand he screwed up with that whole
More than
freeze
once.
over. Yeah, I
More
mean,
than
he
once.
finds he kind of puts himself ahead of his constituency sometimes, and again, that's why he's never going to be president. So he cost himself that.
But
with those
I
actions,
listened to this
for sure.
earlier. I like what he said here.
To the call, got to the scene, and we later learned that we had 4 individuals that were shot, 2 of them deceased, including the shooter. The DPD was able to locate the shooter, who was deceased. We're going to be working this investigation shoulder to shoulder with our federal partners. The FBI is on scene.
I can confirm at this time that the FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence, to include here in North Texas, where back on July 4th, we saw a coordinated attack carried out against an immigration detention center in Alvarado, Texas. What I can also share with you is that early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature. Again, this is just the most recent example of this type of attack. This will be a whole of government response. There will be no resource not utilized to bring all those individuals who are responsible to bring them to justice and to hold them accountable. While we're not releasing.
What does he mean by that? Like, do they have information that there's other people involved in this?
I don't know.
Is that what he's saying?
Maybe he's trying to say that they're still finding out if there are other people involved.
Okay, because it sounds to me like they already know.
Okay.
That's just the way I'm taking it. I mean, I could be wrong on that.
Maybe you just want to make sure everything's for sure until he says, maybe they haven't given the okay to say everything 1,000% for sure yet. So It could be that. I'm not 1,000. I don't know.
I do think it's kind of interesting that, there's only so many AR or AK-40s, because that's an AK-47 round, the 7.62 NATO. Yeah. That's an AK-47 round. There aren't too many clip-fed AK-47s. The SKI is one, and then there's the SKI I know for sure you can still get a clip feed for it, but for the most part they're all magazines today. So that's a top loading. I just thought it was interesting. It's a top loading clip that goes down and in, and then as it releases the bullets, the clip falls out the bottom into your hand or onto the ground. So it's an old weapon. Is what I'm getting at. So he got off 8. What the only reason I'm questioning this, because they showed you a 6-round clip, right?
Yeah. 4. I thought
they're claiming. Well, no, that clip had 6 rounds in it.
Okay.
The clip they showed. But they said there was 8 rounds that were shot off.
Maybe he reloaded it. I don't know.
I mean, I have a top-loading clip rifle, and it's not that easy. Not that fast.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
I'm
It's
not sure.
that fast.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure, honestly.
So here's my thing. So if you have 8 rounds that are shot off, but he's only got, so maybe there is another shooter. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. I see that.
Because he said 8 rounds, but the clip only has 6, and
Right.
my clip only holds 6 too, and I have 3 clips that I use for it when I take it out to the range.
Did they say said they only found 1 clip though?
Well, he might have had 2. He obviously emptied out 1. You know.
Right.
Now the SK1, it's not a bolt action, so it does shoot semi-automatic. So 1 pull,
Yeah.
1 pull, 1 bullet.
Right.
So if that particular weapon that he used, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you don't have to do any of this stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah, you don't have any of that bolt action thing going on. So unlike mine is a bolt action.
Right.
But he when he said that, it made me think, well, there's got to be more people then, because I heard 8 shots, but I only see clips with 6, which
Right.
makes sense because that's how they come.
Okay. All right. I get you.
Identities of any victims at this time. What I can confirm for you is no members of law enforcement were hurt during this attack. If any member of the public has information that would help the FBI's investigation, I would ask that you please report that.
Violence is wrong.
Yeah.
Politically motivated violence is wrong.
Yep.
It was 2
There's
weeks
his
ago
2 times
today
for
that we
me.
saw
Hey,
a
right there. Broken clock right 2 times a day.
political assassination in Utah
Okay.
that tore the heart out of much of this country. This is the 3rd shooting in Texas directed at ICE or CBP.
It's crazy.
This must stop. To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop. To every politician demanding that ICE agents be doxxed and calling for people to go after their families, stop.
Yep.
This has very real consequences.
Yeah, it
Look,
really
in
does.
America, we disagree. That's fine. That's the democratic process. But your political opponents are not Nazis.
This is the 2nd time I've had to stand in front of you
He's
and
right.
talk about.
I mean, I couldn't have said it any better, to be honest. And like I said, I don't really care for Ted Cruz too much. I don't think he's the greatest. I know he is a smart man, and he was like what,
He's
a
great
top lawyer or whatever.
Yeah, he was a pretty good lawyer. Yeah.
Right, so I'm not knocking him for that. I'm not saying he's not smart. I just don't really care for him as a.
But he is absolutely right, dude. I mean, they got to stop calling us Nazis, man.
Yeah, because they don't realize they're putting targets on our back.
Dude, they don't care. They don't care. That's their intention. Their intention is to put targets on every conservative in this country's back because they want the Civil War, dude. They want it. They want it bad. They want it bad because they're desperate now. The Democratic Party, dude, this is the lowest their approval rating's ever been in American history. They've never been below 26% before, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Crazy.
Even at the height of the Civil War, when they were very unpopular, by the way, to be Democrats, they were still like, you know, their approval ratings were still higher than what they are today. And so this is an act of desperation by the left.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate one. And they are putting targets on the back of conservatives. They're making calls to kill Joe Rogan, to kill Tim Pool. They're making calls to kill who was the other 3 that they said? There were 3 that they were just conservative commentators, man. I can't remember the name, but basically they're anybody who is
obviously
has
Charlie
a voice,
Kirk.
Obviously Charlie Kirk, but anybody who has they showed us with that one what they're capable of.
Sad, dude.
They were,
Sad.
yeah, and this is, dude, they're showing us every day more and more. They're becoming kamikazes. They're not afraid of the consequences because they keep whacking themselves afterwards.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get to a bottom of a lot of what's going on with the Charlie Kirk assassin, since he's the only one really that's alive at this point.
Which he needs
and by the way, a small update on that Lance Twiggs, his little furry transgender, whatever the hell it is, disappeared like a fart in the wind, dude.
I heard he's on the run or something.
I'm sure he's in witness protection.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
They're protected because they know the left will go after him too.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because they're not going to. They're definitely going to go after him. So they got him in protection.
Yeah.
But that just tells you how serious all of this is really getting.
Yeah.
A shooter at one of my facilities, and I think that the takeaway from all of this is that the rhetoric has to stop. There are people out there who are seeing what is being placed online, and they're coming and they're doing acts of violence against ICE employees. So that's kind of all I have for today, is that it's just got to stop.
Please join me.
Oh, I hate this guy. We don't have to listen to him, do we?
I want to at least hear what he says.
All
right.
The folks who lost their lives today.
Okay.
Pray for the speedy recovery for those who are hurt and were injured.
I like that.
And what happened today.
His past. Okay. The reason I can't stand Eric Johnson is because his past remarks about conservatives are part of the reason why this shit is happening in the first place. That's why I didn't want to hear him get up there and be a hypocrite. Talking about prayers. Give me a break, Eric. Eric Johnson don't believe in God. Eric Johnson believes in only himself, and that's it.
Yeah. So
and that's it.
I don't know, man.
But
I don't know. I'm not like. I think it's just it's messed up, dude. Like. They say things like Nazi, bigot, and they don't realize, like, fascist. They don't realize that, like, some people are mentally insane that they don't realize that puts a target on someone's back. You know, they say it. That's where what it is. It's an echo chamber.
That's where I disagree. I do think they know exactly what they're doing. I believe they know. They're going to try to pull like, well, we didn't mean it that way. When Maxine Waters was telling people to go, and you see them in a restaurant, you let them know they're not welcome here.
Yeah.
Or when Joe Biden said, when you see it, it's time to put a target or a bullseye on his head. He was talking about Donald Trump. And then you got the little fat ass Timmy, tampon Timmy up there in Minnesota talking about we need to get angrier. We need to get. They have been calling for violence for a very, very long time.
Right.
And you know what's going to happen is they're going to F around and find out.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Do you
see this, by the way? Okay, right here it says FBI suspect wrote anti-ICE messages. We've seen that.
Yeah,
so his name was Joshua Johns. His age was 29.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the John, Jahns, because that's. Well, here's the thing. In the Daily Mail this morning, when I first read about it on the Daily Mail, they said white shooter. That was their headline. If you want to go pull the headline, it's probably still. They might have taken it down by now.
Who is this?
Because people, the Daily Mail, dude, they literally said white shooter.
They always do that, of course.
And JAHN is not. That doesn't. I mean, that sounds. That sounds more Arabic or Jewish to me. I mean,
anyway, aren't you used to it by now? That's what they do all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me like, dude, every time you turn around, it's just more propaganda thrown down our throat, and almost all of it is anti-Trump propaganda in the long run. They're the left is the only people I know that can take the tragedy of their opposition and turn it around and make it about themselves, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they have no spine, they have no integrity, they have no pride. Why would they? They don't care. Right. Why would they? They just simply don't care. And that's where we're at. And that's why this is happening. This is the fault of the rhetoric. And I agree with Ted Cruz 100%.
I don't understand how anybody could be willing to vote. I'm sorry, guys. I've been sick the past couple of days, and that's why you hear my throat a little bit messed up. I'm feeling better finally, but no, I'm on the tail end of it. Anyway, I don't understand why anybody at this point would be willing to vote Democrat, and I'm not even saying vote Republican. Like, go find something else, dude. There's no point. The only people that should be voting for Democrats are the gays and trans right now.
Before we end this show, I just want to say the Democrat Party needs to find a way to bring the common sense back into their party.
Well,
now, their rhetoric, they don't want to blame themselves. I get it. but the rest of us already know. They don't even have to come out and say, yeah, our rhetoric is why this, because we already know that's why it's happening. We know that's why it's happening.
I love what Joe Manchin said the other day. He said, regardless of anything, you should find a way to work with the president to make the president the best president ever. Because it's your country and this is where you live. So,
well, that's why Manchin left the Democrat Party.
I would love for Joe Manchin to get his values in order and come on this side. I'd vote for Joe Manchin if he was running Republican. I just can't see me voting for him as a Democrat.
Well, he's not a Democrat anymore. He's
I'm saying, no, if he were to run as a Democrat, I can't vote for him as a Democrat.
Oh no, I would no, because he would have been subject to the party's.
He'd have to come here and be with us.
Well, he would have had to object to the party's platform in order to or he would have to go along with it. It would be one or the other. If he's a president under their terms, he's got to go along with it, like Joey Biden did.
Very true.
Joey B went right along with it. Dude, that Joey B that you saw is not the same Joey B from 1974 who was talking about he didn't want his kids going to school in a jungle. All right, this is not the same person. The Joey B that we saw was the one who's a vegetable upstairs, and they basically just used his auto pen and pushed him around and told him what he was going to do.
The one comedian called him a Roomba.
Yeah, that's what he is. He is a Roomba. He's a human Roomba.
He'd walk into. I loved when Trump used to do the walk into the walls, making fun of him thing. He's like, "Where the hell am I?" I think that's the difference between. I don't want to say everybody. I don't know, between me and every Democrat I know. I wanted Joe Biden to be a great president because he was a president of my country. I wanted to be wrong about him being a terrible president, but I wasn't. He was terrible. He did nothing good for us. Set us back maybe 10 years.
I just think it's time for the Democrats to get back to being normal again.
Yeah, I just think it's time to get rid of the Democratic Party and get rid of the Republican Party and just have a thing where, like, I'd like to see us.
The Conservative Party and the Liberal Party. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, forget a party, dude. We need to do what's right for our country and value our country.
Well, you gotta have the checks and balances.
I get it because
if you don't have the checks and balances, you will not have a constitution.
Yeah.
Because if either side gets too much power for too long, it's just a matter of time, dude. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And
that is true.
That's
true.
I mean, it would just you gotta have the checks and balances. That's why I like the way our system is set up. See, the Democrats have been trying since the 1960s, since the 1930s, really, they have been trying to, actually, if you really want to go back to it, since the 1850s, they have been trying to get rid of the two-party system and make it a one-party rule system, because they know if they do that, they get to write the playbook and they get to change the rules too.
Yeah.
So trust me, there's a lot to be said for checks and balances and for, what's that word I'm looking for? When gridlock, there's a lot to be said for gridlock. And on that, there's my tangent. I'm done.
Yeah. I think I've said what I've had to say. I think it's terrible what happened. I think all this, everything, I'm just think about it like this though. I'm glad we got Trump, and because if Kamala was in office, oh man.
Oh my! Well, you know what? She wouldn't have been able to get very much done because we have a Republican Senate and a Republican House. We would have just had a gridlock for the next 4 years.
Yeah,
that's what would have happened if
things would have just got worse. Things would have got worse.
Well, she would have done her executive orders, and then we would have just wound those back in 4 years. But you know what? I never thought for a minute that Kamala was going to win. So
I didn't either. I knew she wasn't.
It looks like my odds in Vegas. I took the right ones.
There you go.
So, And with that, Bert, I guess it's up to you. Did you want to close it out for our audience here?
All right, everybody. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with us tonight. I want to thank God, because without him, none of this is possible. I want to thank my family. I want to thank Double D. Double D, I'm giving it to you.
All right. As always, Bird, thanks for making this show happen every week. Without you, we wouldn't have it. Audience, goes without saying, without you, we are nothing. But as always, as we always know, most importantly, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for giving me the opportunity to be here with you all today, because with Jesus, everything is possible. And with that, good night, y'all.
All right, everybody, have a good one. Peace.